The Omega beams at him, grin bright and big, his eyes crinkling at the side with happiness. Yes. Thank you, Tai, really. You're so good to me. I don't know what I did to deserve you in my life. I'd do anything for you. I would give you anything. There's nothing you could ask of me that I would refuse you. Can't you see that? Can't you see I'm so in love with you it's killing me? He wants to scream at him. Instead, he keeps his mouth shut and smiles at him. Come on, let's do it. They both grab each other's gifts and they swap, the Omega buzzing with excitement and nerves as he watches the other man quickly tear into the wrapping paper to get to his present. Oh, Cookie, he breathes out. Do you like it? I saw it and I just knew I had to get it for you, Jungkook asks with his lip caught between his teeth. Of course I do. How did you even remember about this? This is amazing, Cookie. Honestly, his voice breaks with emotion, his heart hammering away in his chest, throat feeling tight. He, almost reverently, strokes his thumb over the box containing the model plane Jungkook gifted him. The model plane he's always dreamed about since he was 7 years old. He remembers begging his mom to get it for him as a Christmas present every year, but they never had been able to afford it. He used to go stand in front of the shop window to wistfully stare at it, a tiny excited Jungkook bouncing on his feet next to him. He can't believe he remembered that. How could I forget? I knew how badly you wanted it. You know, I remember I once started to save every single pence my mum gave me to try and buy it for you. She let me know, very kindly, that was literally impossible for me to do. I cried for 2 hours after that, he snorts with a shake of his head. The alpha wants to him. Thank you. Really. You don't know how much it means to me, Jungkook smiles, preening and shy, and then focuses on his own gift, still laying unopened on his lap. He gently pries the wrapping paper away, not wanting to ruin it like Taehyung did, and gasps when he sees what's inside. He takes out a beautiful snow globe. He carefully holds it up to his face and feels his eyes getting damp at the sight of it. It's 2 small statues, looking suspiciously like him as a kid and his mum, building a snowman together. Taehyung clears his throat. It also plays a song if you press that button. The Omega presses it and the notes of his mum's right song start playing. The tears he was trying to hold in are now freely rolling down his cheeks. Don't even know what to say, his lips quiver and he can't speak any longer. Come here, Taehyung opens his arms for him and he dives in, burying his face in his neck, nose searching for his scent gland to get a sniff of those calming pheromones he loves so much, his whole tightening around him. Thank you. They stayed like that for a very long time and, eventually, they end up falling asleep in each other's arms. Mrs. Kim. He finds them still there when, the next morning, she sleepily walks to the kitchen to get herself a cup of coffee. She smiles down at them tenderly and drapes a blanket over them, noticing the way Jungkook is trying to melt into Taehyung to find some warmth. She also gets a whiff of a sickly sweet scent clinging to the both of them and decides to let them be, making sure she leaves a note, telling them she went to Ian and Grace's and to let her know everything is okay with a text if they can. She takes her essentials and is quickly on her way. When Jungkook opens his eyes, 2 hours later, he's in it. He's still not too deep into it. He can still think rationally enough to fight the instinct to grind into the alpha, already half hard and hot, and probably a subconscious reaction to the smell of his heat even through his sleep. He throws himself out of Taehyung's arms, startling him awake in the process, a strangled moan tearing out of his throat when they are not touching anymore. The alpha, still half asleep, can't stop the growl that's building up in his chest when his brain registers that his omega is in heat and, for some unknown reason, distancing himself from him. Once he catches up with what's actually happening, he shakes his head to try and clear his thoughts and immediately stops breathing through his nose, not wanting the intoxicating scent to cloud his thoughts even more. "Cookie," he pants, teeth set as his gums hitch with the need to bite and claim an own. "Sorry, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting," he exhales and shudders. "You have to leave, before I completely lose my mind," Taekook growls again. "I'm not leaving you alone like this, are you mad? You're not prepared for this, how are you even going to get yourself something eat?" Jungkook sighs, his grip on common logic slipping a bit more even as he tries to cling to it desperately. It's getting more difficult with each second that passes with the delicious smell of cinnamon stuck under his nose. Please, I can't, I don't," he interrupts himself to whine, his knees shaking and his mind getting fuzzy, but he stubbornly holds on. "Use my phone to call someone else. Tell him this time it's come early and I need him now." "I don't think I have the capacity for that right now," the alpha almost snarls in his face, his hackles rising at the mention of his omega needing someone else, of someone else being there for his heat and helping him out. Like hell he's going to let this happen. Over his dead body. Who is someone else anyway? "No, Taekook." "What? Please, I don't have time for this. Just call him." He starts to back away, his inner omega screaming at him to stop talking and just present to their alpha, so he needs to flee in his room and lock his door before he actually does. "Stop." The alpha voice makes him stop in his tracks, body going slack at the command. "I'm going to help you out during your heat, if you want. I'm already here. You don't need another alpha," he hisses through his teeth. He knows this is a bad idea, that knowing how it feels to be with Jungkook like that is going to hurt so much more when he has to go back to being his best mate. He's not thinking rationally, he rarely does when it comes to the small omega, but he can't bear the thought of someone else touching him. Being inside him. He can't. "Please? I don't need anyone else. I don't want anyone else. Just you, always you," he thinks. "I can't ask you that," is what comes out of his mouth instead. "You're not asking, I'm offering. We shouldn't, you don't have to feel obligated." I can't." He stops talking and squeezes his eyes shut, his skin flushed and sweaty. He's not going to last much longer, he can feel himself slipping away. "I don't feel obligated. Look, Cookie, hey, look at me, come on." He waits until Jungkook's watery eyes are looking into his before speaking again. "You're going to hurt yourself if you keep holding back like this, and your heat will be even worse. You have to stop doing that very soon, alright? So listen to me very carefully now. I can help you, not because I feel like I have to, but because I want to. I won't if you really don't want me to. I'll leave right now and call whoever you want. But I'm willing to help. Just tell me what you want. Don't worry about anything else." "Do you want me to go?" "No," he almost sobs with the word. He can't deny himself any longer. He doesn't want to, not when he can feel the honesty in Taekook's voice. And he's right. He needs to stop fighting his heat off. There's no time to talk about what this means and worry about whether this is going to up their friendship or not. Taekook wants to, and he wants to. That's what really matters right now. "Stay, I want you. Want you, alpha, and consequences be damned." He'll blame these words on his heat confusion if he has to justify them to the alpha somehow. He just can't keep them in anymore. Taekook is on him in a second, not wasting any time as soon as the words leave his mouth. The Omega's hands automatically flying to hold onto the Alpha's biceps, muscles flexing under his fingers. Taekook's grip on him tightening to the point where it almost hurts, and the Omega absolutely loves it, and he prays it'll leave marks on his skin that he can press into when this is over. They lose themselves in each other, breaking their own hearts by giving themselves this when it's not real, not in the way they want it to be, knowing the memories will haunt them forever. Jungkook heat lasts 3 days. They pass in a whirlwind of moans, knotting, scenting and cuddling. It's intense and it leaves them absolutely exhausted. They pass out before even uttering a word to each other when it's over. The next morning, when they've thrown the ruined sheets into the washing machine and aired the room to get rid of the smell and heat and cum, both their heads clear and no excuse left to touch each other. No excuse left to not talk about it. It's awkward, to say the least. So, thank you for helping me out with this. We missed Christmas, he giggles nervously. I know it wasn't ideal for you and I'm sorry you missed the holidays with your mom, especially after I insisted so much on inviting her here. I made her come all the way here and then I essentially threw her out. Ugh, I'm really sorry. That's awful, Taekook coughs. Don't even joke about that. It's not your fault, you had no control over this, and both my mom and I know this. You didn't make us do anything, I made the decision to help you, and I really appreciate it, honest I do. It was very nice of you. Why did you? This is awkward now, this is terrible, I should have just spent it with someone else like. No drama or confusion, I certainly wouldn't be in this mess right now. What do I even say? I hope I didn't say anything during my heat. I should do some damage control before he thinks I'm in love with him and decides to never speak to me again for the rest of our lives. Huh? Very buddy, best pal of you to lend out a hand to a mate like this. You're a real one, Ty. Best mate behavior, am I right? He cringes at his own words. It sounds bloody stupid even to his own ears. He quickly turns around and misses the way the Alpha's face crumples and then hardens into an expression of grim resignation. Of course. You're an Omega that needed help with his heat and I'm an Alpha and also your best friend. It was only natural for me to help you out. That's what best mates do, innit? His heart cracks while he says the words. Jungkook wills the ground to open up and swallow him as he replies. Only natural, they both agree because they thought this is what the other wants to hear. It's not. Come on, I'm going to make us some brekkie. You can take Mrs. Kim, so she can come pack her stuff and we can say goodbye. Ye hurries along the corridor and into the kitchen to start toasting the bread. They eat their food in silence, the air tense around them, sneaking glances and exchanging stilted smiles every once in a while. Taekook's phone suddenly rings, loud in the quiet of the room, and he basically flees from the table so he can answer it, jumping at the first opportunity to escape the uncomfortable situation.